Welcome to another deep dive, and this time we're stepping into a battle that might just rewrite your understanding of Indian history.
Oh, this is going to be good. I love this stuff.
Right, so we're talking about the Vijayanagara Empire. Yeah, the last major Hindu kingdom in South India.
Fascinating time period.
And their dramatic clash, to say the least, with a powerful alliance of Deccan Sultanates at the Battle of Talikota.
In 1565.
1565. Now, this might not be the Mughal Empire saga you learned about in school.
Yeah, most people skip over this.
But trust me, this one's got intrigue, betrayal, and a legacy that still shapes South India today. So, to guide us through all this, we've got excerpts from The Diplomat.
It's always a good source.
We've got some educational websites like Leverage Edu and Testbook, New World Encyclopedia.
Of course.
The trusty Wikipedia, always got to have that.
Can't forget Wikipedia.
An article from the Geopolitical Observer and a research paper from ijcrt.org.
Wow, that's a pretty diverse set of sources.
Yeah, we try to mix it up.
Good, good.
So get ready to unearth some fascinating details of this often overlooked battle. Understand its impact, and maybe even find some parallels to the alliances and conflicts we see in the world today.
You know, what's so fascinating about the Vijayanagara Empire is that it represents this really unique chapter in Indian history. Imagine this. For centuries, they were like holding the fort for Hinduism in the south while much of the north was under Islamic rule.
Wow.
And this allowed for this like distinct cultural and political development in the south that, well, that's what we're going to explore today.
Yeah, and from what I'm reading, Vijayanagara wasn't just holding on by a thread.
No.
They were thriving.
Thriving.
Think bustling trade with the Portuguese.
Who were, by the way, the first Europeans to set foot in India.
That's right, the Portuguese. A vibrant cosmopolitan atmosphere, and even advancements in gunpowder technology. It's like
Yeah, it really is.
taking a peek into a sophisticated early modern world.
They were on par with many European powers at the time.
Oh.
Yeah, which is why their fall is so intriguing.
Right. How did this sophisticated empire, founded all the way back in 1336 CE, crumble so quickly?
Yeah, how indeed. To understand that, we need to first understand their rivals, the Bahmani Sultanate.
Okay, so the Bahmani Sultanate, centered in present-day Maharashtra and Telangana,
That's right.
was another major power, founded around the same time as Vijayanagara.
Another big player on the scene.
Yeah, they were rivals.
Definitely.
But then things get even more complicated,
Oh, yeah.
because the Bahmani Sultanate eventually fractured into 5 smaller sultanates.
It's like a
It's like a game of
like watching a game of Risk unfold in real time.
Risk, exactly. Vijayanagara tried to play these sultanates against each other.
Smart move at first.
Right. But eventually,
wow.
they all united against the empire. Talk about a plot twist.
Huge plot twist.
So that brings us to
The big event.
the pivotal event.
The Battle of Talikota, also known as the Battle of Rakkasagi and Tangadagi,
Rakkasagi and Tangadagi. Right.
which took place on January 26th, 1565.
Okay, 1565.
Now, here's what makes this battle so interesting.
Okay.
Vijayanagara wasn't outnumbered.
Right.
In fact, according to several of our sources, including Testbook, they actually had a larger army
Wow.
than the combined forces of the sultanates.
Okay, hold on. A bigger army and they still lost?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. What happened?
Well, that's what we're here to uncover.
I hope so.
You see, battles aren't just about brute force. Strategy plays a crucial role.
Makes sense.
And the sultanates were masters of it. One tactic they used was feigning river crossings to lure the Vijayanagara forces away from their defenses.
Ah, so they tricked them.
Exactly.
That's a classic military maneuver.
Military deception at its finest.
Okay, anything else?
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm still trying to wrap my head around how a larger army could be defeated so decisively.
So on top of that, they had a secret weapon,
Oh.
this massive cannon called the Malakamayadon.
Maliki Maidan.
This wasn't just any cannon. This was one of the largest cannons in the world at that time. And remember, we're talking about the 16th century.
Right.
So that kind of firepower was a game changer.
I bet.
Imagine the impact of that technology on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's a big advantage.
Huge.
Okay, so we've got some clever tactics and superior technology on the side of the Sultanates. Was that all it took to bring down Vijayanagara?
Well, no, there's another layer to this story, a truly Shakespearean twist, if you will.
Okay, lay it on me.
Betrayal.
No?
According to many historical accounts, including those referenced in the IJCRT.org research paper, two Muslim generals in the Vijayanagar army, the Jilani brothers,
Okay.
switched sides during the battle.
Oh, wow.
Imagine the chaos and confusion on the battlefield.
Oh, yeah, as those loyalties shifted.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Wow, that's a devastating blow. Betrayal from within your own ranks.
Yeah.
Talk about a recipe for disaster. And what about Rama Raya, the ruler of Vijayanagara?
Yes.
What happened to him in all of this?
Well, the sources provide a couple different accounts of Rama Raya's demise, which really just adds to the mystery surrounding this battle.
Yeah.
Some suggest he was captured and beheaded right there on the battlefield.
Oh, wow.
Others say he was captured and executed later.
Oh, man.
Either way, it was a brutal end for him
Yeah.
and a crushing blow to the empire's leadership. This wasn't just a military defeat. It was a symbolic one as well.
Right. Okay, so we have a betrayal, the leader is killed, and the army is defeated. What happened next?
Sadly, it's not a happy ending.
I figured.
Vijayanagara's capital, Hampi, this magnificent city with temples, palaces, and bustling markets, was systematically destroyed by the victorious sultanates over the next 5 months.
5 months.
5 months. Think about that. 5 months of relentless destruction.
Wow.
This wasn't just a change in rulers, it was the dismantling of a whole way of life.
I'm looking at images of Hampi now.
Yeah.
And even in ruins, you can see the grandeur and beauty of this city. It's heartbreaking to imagine the scale of the destruction.
And it's important to remember that this wasn't just the loss of a city, it was the dismantling of an entire empire.
Right.
The remnants of Vijayanagara fragmented into smaller kingdoms, like Mysore and Madurai.
Okay.
Some fell under Islamic rule, and eventually much of the region was absorbed into the Mughal Empire.
So the Battle of Talikota was a turning point, a domino effect that reshaped the political landscape of South India and set the stage for what we see today.
Exactly. But the story doesn't end there. Historians continue to debate what truly caused Vijayanagara's fall. Yes, the Sultanates were strong,
Right.
but was Vijayanagara already weakening from within? Were there cracks in the foundation that made them vulnerable? That's what we'll investigate next. Okay, so we've established that the Sultanates had, some serious military advantages, and there was that shocking betrayal from within.
Yeah, that was a big one.
But as we discussed, empires don't usually just crumble overnight.
No, it's usually a process.
So what else was going on within Vijayanagara
Right.
that might have made them vulnerable?
That's where things get really interesting and where the historical debate really heats up.
Okay, I'm ready.
So you see, the traditional view, often presented in older scholarship, was that the Battle of Talikota was this straightforward clash of civilizations, Hindus versus Muslims.
Okay.
But modern historians are really pushing back against this simplistic interpretation.
Okay, so if it wasn't just a simple religious conflict,
Right.
what are historians uncovering about the real reasons behind Vijayanagara's downfall?
Well, for one thing, historical records, including those mentioned in the Diplomat article,
Yeah.
reveal that Rama Raya, despite being a Hindu ruler, often formed alliances with different sultanates at different times.
Right.
Yeah, it was a very complex game
Wow.
of political strategy and maneuvering for power, not this black and white religious conflict.
So it was more like the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of situation.
Yeah.
Alliances shifting based on political advantage.
Exactly. And if you dig even deeper,
Yeah.
you find evidence of Islamic influence within Vijayanagara itself. This was a society that had incorporated elements of, Islamic architecture, even had Muslims holding positions in the court.
Wow.
The Geopolitical Observer article really highlights these nuanced details,
Yeah.
suggesting that Vijayanagara was much more diverse and complex
Right.
than the Hindu kingdom versus Muslim sultanates narrative suggests.
That definitely challenges the oversimplified clash of civilizations idea, doesn't
I
it?
think it does.
Makes you realize that these historical events were driven by a lot more than just religious differences.
Oh, absolutely.
So if religion wasn't the driving force, what other factors might have contributed to Vijayanagara's vulnerability?
Well, some historians, and this is highlighted in the Leverage Adu article, argue that Vijayanagara might have already been on a path of decline,
Oh,
even before the Battle of Talikota. For example, Rama Raya himself came to power by usurping the throne
Oh, wow.
from the rightful heir, Sadashiva Raya.
So this wasn't exactly a peaceful transition of power.
Not exactly.
So there was already some internal instability within the empire. Power struggles, potential resentment brewing beneath the surface.
Precisely.
And remember those Nayaks we mentioned earlier?
Yeah.
Powerful local chieftains
Mm-hmm.
who were gaining influence and autonomy throughout the empire.
Right.
So you have this combination of internal power struggles, ambitious local rulers,
Right.
and external pressure from the sultanates.
It's a recipe for trouble.
Yeah, it sounds like Vijayanagara was being squeezed from all sides.
Yeah.
Internal strife, external pressure.
Yes, exactly.
What a difficult situation.
Very difficult.
And then you have the Battle of Talikota.
Right.
It becomes this tipping point, this dramatic event that hastens the empire's collapse.
Yeah, you could say that.
While some historians argue that Talikota was the single fatal blow,
Mm-hmm.
others, as detailed in the IGCRT.org research paper, suggest that Vijayanagara's decline was already in motion, making the battle more of a final push rather than the sole cause.
It's an interesting debate.
It is.
Yeah.
In a way, it's like a body that's already weakened by an illness, being hit with a major injury.
Right.
The injury might not be fatal on its own, but it can overwhelm an already vulnerable system.
That's a good analogy.
Not the most cheerful analogy, but it gets the point across.
It does. It does.
So it emphasizes the complexity of this historical event.
It really does.
There wasn't just a single cause for Vijayanagara's fall.
Nope.
It was a combination of factors,
Mm-hmm.
both internal and external,
Right.
that ultimately led to their demise.
Exactly.
It seems like history is rarely about simple cause and effect, isn't it?
It really isn't.
There's so many layers and complexities.
Mm.
But why should we, sitting here in the 21st century, care about a battle that happened 450 years ago?
That's the important question.
Yeah. Well, what can we learn from this story?
Well, I think there are several valuable takeaways.
Okay.
Firstly, I think it reminds us that history is rarely black and white.
Yeah.
These easy narratives like good versus evil,
Yeah.
or a purely religious conflict often oversimplify complex situations.
Yeah, like that clash of civilizations idea we were talking about.
Right.
It sounds dramatic, but doesn't capture the full picture.
No, it doesn't.
Okay. So internal divisions, oversimplified narratives,
Mm-hmm.
any other wisdom we can extract from this deep dive into Vijayanagara?
Well, I think it reminds us that even powerful empires can fall. It serves as a lesson in humility, in the importance of adaptability, and in recognizing potential weaknesses before it's too late.
Right.
Vijayanagara, despite its wealth and influence, wasn't immune to these universal challenges.
So what does all this mean for you, the listener?
Right.
How can we apply these lessons from Vijayanagara to our own lives?
Well, think about the world we live in today.
Mm.
We face complex challenges, right? Political polarization, climate change, global pandemics.
Yeah.
These are issues that demand cooperation, not division.
Definitely.
And we need to be aware of our own biases, question easy narratives, and seek out multiple perspectives, just like the historians are doing with the Battle of Talikota.
It's like that famous quote: "Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it."
Right.
But maybe we can rephrase it to be even more relevant. Those who can't learn from the past are doomed to make the same mistakes.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I think the story of Vijayanagara offers us valuable lessons about unity, adaptability, and understanding the nuances of history.
Right. We've gone deep on the possible causes of Vijayanagara's fall.
We have
Explored the historical debate.
Yeah.
And even extracted some valuable insights for the modern world.
Absolutely.
But I have one more burning question.
Okay.
What happened to that magnificent city, Hampi?
Yeah.
Did it simply fade into oblivion after the destruction?
That's a great question, and it leads us perfectly into the final part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll explore the aftermath of the battle, the legacy of Vijayanagara, and what became of those incredible ruins that still stand today.
We've explored the rise and fall of Vijayanagara,
Yeah.
delved into the complexities of the Battle of Talikota,
Right.
and even uncovered some timeless lessons from this historical event.
Absolutely.
But I'm still captivated by the story of Hampi,
Oh, yeah.
their glorious capital city,
A magnificent city.
after such widespread destruction.
It was devastating.
Did it just vanish from the pages of history?
That's where the story takes an unexpected turn.
Okay.
While Hampi was indeed sacked and looted,
Yeah.
it wasn't completely erased from
Wow.
history.
Wow.
The ruins, these silent witnesses to the empire's grandeur,
Yeah.
continued to fascinate and intrigue people
Right.
for centuries.
So it wasn't swallowed by the jungle or lost to time.
No, not at all.
There's something almost poetic about these remnants enduring through the ages.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just the physical structures that endured. People continued to live in the surrounding areas, carrying on with their lives amidst these majestic ruins.
Huh.
Some historical records, even those from the New World Encyclopedia, suggest that the Uravidu dynasty, the successors of Rama Raya, continued to conduct business in Vijayanagar for a few years after the battle.
Really?
Before eventually moving their capital.
So imagine that, going about your daily life surrounded by these reminders of a lost empire.
Yeah.
It speaks to the resilience of the human spirit and reminds us that that history isn't just about grand events and powerful rulers, but also about the everyday lives of those who live through them.
Ordinary people.
And as time passed,
Yeah.
Hampi began to attract attention from beyond the immediate region.
Travelers, scholars, even colonial officials, they all marveled at the scale and beauty of these ruins.
Looking at pictures of Hampi today, you can still sense the majesty
of
what once stood there.
Absolutely.
You know, those intricate carvings, the towering gateways, the sheer scale of it all.
It's awe-inspiring.
It's awe-inspiring, yeah.
And those early accounts,
Yeah.
the travelogues and observations from those who visited Hampi played a crucial role in keeping the memory of Vijayanagara alive. It was like a whisper passed down through generations.
Ensuring that this lost city wasn't forgotten.
Exactly.
But when did people start to really delve into the history of Hampi? Was it just these travelogues and stories, or was there a more systematic effort to uncover the past?
It wasn't until the 19th century
Okay.
that we see the beginnings of a more formal approach to understanding Hampi.
Mhm.
This is when archaeological excavations started,
Oh, wow.
led by scholars and researchers eager to piece together the story of this lost civilization.
So it was like putting together a giant jigsaw puzzle,
Yeah, that's a great way to put it.
carefully excavating and analyzing each fragment to reveal a clearer picture of Vijayanagara.
Exactly.
And the picture that emerged from these excavations wasn't just about confirming what was already known from historical chronicles, right?
Absolutely.
It also revealed exciting new details about life in Vijayanagara.
They uncovered temples, palaces, bustling marketplaces.
Wow.
And even intricate water systems.
Giving us a glimpse into the daily routines and innovations of this ancient city.
Yeah. It's amazing what archaeology can reveal.
Yeah, and these excavations also painted a picture of Vijayanagara as a truly cosmopolitan empire.
Absolutely.
We've already touched on their trade with the Portuguese, but the archaeological evidence showed interactions with other cultures as well.
Definitely.
Including Islamic, Chinese, and even Southeast Asian influences.
Very diverse.
So it wasn't just this isolated Hindu kingdom.
Not at all.
It was a melting pot of cultures and ideas.
Exactly.
The evidence suggests that Vijayanagara embraced diversity and fostered cultural exchange, making their story even more relevant to us today.
Absolutely.
In a world that is increasingly interconnected and globalized, we can learn a lot from their example.
Definitely.
Of tolerance and openness to different cultures.
It's a good lesson.
Okay, so we have these incredible ruins, fascinating archaeological discoveries
Right.
that have brought the past to life. But what happened to Hampi then? Did it become a forgotten relic, or was there an effort to preserve this historical treasure?
Here's where things get really exciting.
Okay.
In 1986, Hampi received international recognition when UNESCO designated it as a World Heritage Site.
Oh, wow.
And this was a game changer.
Why was that so significant? What impact did it have on Hampi?
This designation not only brought Hampi to the attention of the world, it also brought with it crucial funding for preservation and restoration efforts. It was a recognition of Hampi's importance to human history and a commitment to safeguarding this cultural treasure for future generations.
That's incredible. So from the ashes of destruction, Hampi rose again.
It did.
Not as a kingdom, but as a symbol of resilience, cultural exchange, and the enduring power of the past.
That's beautifully put.
And today, Hampi thrives as a major tourist destination.
It does.
People from all over the world flock to experience.
Absolutely.
It's unique blend of history, culture, and natural beauty.
It's really quite special.
The legacy of Vijayanagara lives on not just in history books, but in the very stones and structures that continue to inspire awe.
Absolutely.
It's amazing to think that the Battle of Talikota, which marked the end of Vijayanagara, also paved the way for its rediscovery and ultimately its preservation.
Yeah.
For us to appreciate today, that's a pretty remarkable twist of fate.
It really is.
It reminds us that history is never truly static.
Yeah.
It's constantly being reshaped and reinterpreted as we uncover new evidence, ask new questions, and connect the past with the present.
Exactly.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the Battle of Talikota, what's the one key takeaway you hope our listeners will remember?
I think the story of Vijayanagara, from its meteoric rise to its dramatic fall and its eventual rediscovery, really teaches us that history is a tapestry woven from countless threads. It's full of triumphs and tragedies, unexpected twists, and enduring legacies.
Yeah, it's a story that continues to unfold, inviting us to explore, question, and learn.
It really does.
And who knows what other secrets those ancient ruins might hold. Perhaps someday, you, the listener, will make a discovery that adds a new chapter to the story of Vijayanagara.
You never know.
Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world of history.
Until next time.